It is iCarly. All right. I call this session to order. Um, if a senator would like to say the Pledge of Allegiance, they may do so. Anybody?
I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Senator. Next, we will call the roll. Since the secretary is not in attendance today, I will be filling in and calling the roll on his behalf. So Senator Timothy Kane is excused from the session for a good reason. Senator Alexander D. Sterling.
Present.
Senator Lego Trooper Boy.
Present.
Senator Webby 678. He is absent. Senator Terence Walsh is present. Senator James Woodland.
He's present.
Present.
All right, thank you. Senator Leo.
Present.
Senator Anubis.
Present.
Senator Connor Novak.
Not present.
Senator David M. Reed.
Present.
All right, with 8 present and 2 absent, we have a quorum. Next, we will move on to presentation of the agenda, and then we will vote to adopt the agenda. Item number 1 is, per the SAFE Act, someone just joined.
Who is a president?
Who joined?
President.
Oh, okay. The first item is item number 1. Per the SAFE Act, the president has to submit immigration standards to Congress for approval. So we'll be voting on immigration standards presented by President Connor M. Green. Item number 2,
I heard my name.
S1134, amendment to the Congressional Reform Act proposed by Senator Terence Walsh. Item number 3, S1135, the Fair Sentencing Act of 2017, Leo 0816. Item number 4, N1138, the nomination of Matthew Charleston for United States Ambassador, proposed by President Cameron Green. Item number 5, N1125, the nomination of David Wan for Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps. Item number 6, N1139, the nomination of previously known as Mark Glaskov, Marcus Reddington, currently known as Marcus Walsh, for Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. Item number 7, S-Res 1101, the committee's resolution, which is what I gave it a name of, proposed by David M. Reed. So with that, we will now vote on the adoption of this agenda, and I will call the roll. Senator Sterling.
Aye.
Senator Lego Trooper Boy.
Aye.
Senator Walsh votes aye. Senator Woodland.
Aye.
Senator Leo.
Aye.
Senator Anubis.
Aye.
Senator Novak.
Why not? Aye.
Senator Reed.
Aye.
All right. Hold on, let me make sure the stream. Novak. Okay, yeah, the stream's going good. So the agenda passes. We will now move on to opening remarks, and the floor is open for anyone to give their opening remarks.
I request.
Senator Reed, you have the floor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to make a quick statement. We have a busy evening this evening. And it's my first session, and I hope it goes good. And I'm proud to be here with my fellow senators, and I hope we can continue our progress. And with that, I yield.
I request, Mr. President.
Senator Sterling, you have the floor.
I requested
Thank
first.
you.
Okay.
I would first like to point out, I'd like first thank everyone for attending, and thank the President Pro Tempore for holding this session. I would first like to thank Overseer Clements for respecting the Supreme Court's decision to remove him as Chief Justice. Secondly, I'd like to wish all the House candidates luck in the next election. Next term, we need an active House, which all members, not just 2, like this term, will actually introduce legislation. Therefore, I encourage voters to vote for candidates that have previously served in the House of Representatives or actually have legislation beforehand that they're already going to introduce. I've talked to members of the Republican Party, and all of the House Republican candidates have legislation pre-written and ready for introduce when they become representatives. That's why I encourage the voters to vote for GOP candidates and Democrat candidates that plan on actually introducing legislation. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.
A motion to count Webby 678 as president.
I second.
Okay, we will now vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? And he is now counted as present on the agenda.
I request the floor.
You have the floor.
Okay, so everyone, this is gonna be my last session as a senator.
Teardrop.
An overseer has to be impartial. They have to remain out of the operations of the government. So I'm just gonna respect that decision and resign from Senate after my session tonight. It was a great experience. It's my first time ever being in a legislative chamber besides vice president, and it was great. Yeah, I yield.
All right, does anyone else request?
I request the floor.
Senator Lego Trooper Boy, you have the floor.
For this term, this will be my first session. Last time I was in the Senate, it wasn't quite as organized as it seems now. I definitely like where the legislative branch has gone, and I hope that we keep moving in the same direction, and I hope we get a lot done today. Thank you.
All right, does anyone else request?
I request.
You have the floor again.
Thank you. I would just like to welcome Senator Trooper to the session and congratulate him on having his
Coming on.
session. We look forward to having you here, Senator Trooper. Thank you. I yield.
All right, does anyone
I motion to
request-
proceed.
I second.
All right, we will now proceed to the. Hold on a second. We will now proceed to the first item on the agenda.
Yo, Ellie.
Huh? What was that, Leo? Okay. We'll now move on to the first item of the agenda, which are the immigration standards proposed by the President of the United States. The floor is now open for discussion. Without anyone requesting, we will
Never mind.
okay. So, without anyone requesting, we will now move on to a vote on these immigration standards, and I will now call the roll. Senator Sterling,
Aye.
Senator Lego Trooper Boy,
Aye.
Senator Webby,
Aye.
Senator Walsh votes aye, Senator Woodland,
Aye.
Senator Leo,
Aye.
Senator Anubis,
Aye.
Senator Novak,
Aye.
and Senator Reed.
Aye.
With a vote of 8 in favor, none opposed, none abstaining, the item number 1 passes the Senate. Next on the agenda is the S1134, the amendment to the Congressional Reform Act proposed by Senator Walsh. The floor is open for discussion and my request. So in that case, I would like to temporarily pass the floor to Senator Anubis. Or not the floor, but the chair to Senator Anubis, and I request. Senator Anubis.
What was that?
I'm passing the chair to you so I can request the floor.
Oh, okay.
Just temporarily. And I request the floor. Junior Senator. Thank you, Mr. President. This bill is very simple. It's in response to the provision of the SAFE Act that gives the president the ability to present immigration standards. It pretty much gives a numbering system, or presents a numbering system such as we have with nominees and other bills for immigration standards proposed by the president. It's very simple, and I ask for my colleagues to vote in favor. And I yield.
I motion to proceed, Mr. President.
Second. Well,
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and take the chair back from Senator Anubis. Thank you for serving our country dutifully. So we will now proceed to a vote on item number 2, S1134, the amendment to the Congressional Reform Act. And I will now call the roll. Senator Sterling.
Aye.
Senator Trooper.
Aye.
Senator Webby. Senator Webby.
I think Senator Webby's in the car. That's what he said in chat. Or he's. Oh, never mind. He's BRB. He's AFK.
All right, I'll count him as abstain. Senator Walsh votes aye. Senator Woodland.
Aye.
Senator Leo.
Aye.
Senator Anubis.
Aye.
Senator Novak.
See.
Senator Reed.
Aye.
All right, with 7 in favor and 1 abstaining, the item passes, meaning we will now move on to item number 3, S1135, the Fair Sentencing Act of 2017, proposed by Senator Leo. The floor is now open for discussion.
Motion to proceed.
Second.
All right, we will now proceed to a vote on this item, and I will now call the roll. Senator Sterling.
Aye.
Senator Trooper.
Aye.
Senator Webby, are you back? I suppose not. Senator Walsh votes aye. Senator Woodland.
Aye.
Senator Leo.
Aye.
Oh, Senator Anubis.
Aye.
Senator Novak.
A.
Senator Reed.
Aye.
All right, with 7 in favor and 1 abstaining, this item passes. And we will now move on to the next item. And I believe someone just joined.
I'm back. I had to get back on my computer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Senator Webby.
The next item on the agenda is, if I can, hold on a second. The next item on the agenda is N1138, the nomination of Matthew Charleston for United States Ambassador. Before anyone requests, I would like to read the short statement he's written and requested for me to...
Point of order, Mr. President.
Yes.
Senator, Congressman Charleston would like me to read it, actually.
If you want to narrate, you may do so.
Quote,
Not really a point of order, but...
well, thank you, in quote, thank you, Foreign Affairs Committee, for taking that time to do my hearing, while recommending me to be an ambassador for a full Senate vote. I am pleased to have been nominated to be the next U.S. ambassador for the Western European region, and will do my best of my abilities to ensure that we will have a strong alliances with the nations under my region. Thank you, end quote.
All right, does anyone... Well, once the echo is gone, does anyone request the floor?
I request, Mr. President.
Senator Sterling, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I would like to first thank my friend, Congressman Charleston. He's a great person. Now, during the committee meeting, we learned about Congressman Charleston's experience in House and House leadership. He represented and led his party on the House floor. He also has foreign affairs experience. Therefore, he'll represent us adequately overseas. We need an ambassador of his talents and experience. That is why we must confirm him. Like the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee voted to recommend him 4-0. Thank you, my fellow senators. Mr. President, I yield.
Does anyone request?
I request.
Was that Senator Reed?
Yes.
All right, you have the floor.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Charleston has a great. Many of us know his history with this country, and in my opinion, I do not believe he has the experience needed to represent our country in the international committee or in the community. But the Foreign Relations Committee did approve of him unanimously with a 4-0 vote, and we do need because we need somebody that will represent our country. And even though all differences aside with Mr. Charleston, I feel that he can represent our country and he could assist in getting the United States recognized within the international community. So even though he may have a rough pass with this country, I feel that he could do a good job, and I feel that we need to put our trust into him. And with that,
I request.
Senator Sterling, you have the floor again.
Thank you. Now, I disagree with Senator Reed on him not being experienced enough. He does not have a rough past with this group. He has served as a House Majority Leader. He represented his party on the floor and represented the people during his House tenure. Not to mention that he served in the Mexican Department of Foreign Affairs.
Senator Sterling, can you please stop raping your mic? It's really hurting my ears.
Well, I'll try my best, Mr. President.
All right, thank you.
Now, I'll turn my volume down. Maybe that will help. Now, Mr. President and my fellow senators, he has been the majority leader. He has been a congressman. He has served in the Mexican Department of Foreign Affairs. He's representing leadership and the foreign affairs experience. That is experience enough. Real life people been nominated to lesser positions and have not nearly experience of this candidate. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor. Motion to proceed.
I request.
Who requested first? I didn't.
I did.
David did.
Okay, Senator Reed, you have the floor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. With all due respect, Senator Sterling, I respect your opinion, but I would like to correct you on how you said that he doesn't have a rough past with this country. That is incorrect. He did just leave without notice, and he left to Knights United States of America. And I don't know if anybody can correct me, but I'm pretty sure there's a bill or something that was signed in, maybe, not sure, that prohibits him from holding a civil office or a public office for 20 days upon rejoining the United States. If he left Knights USA and rejoined ours. And with that, I yield.
I request.
I guess we can turn this into a little debate. That's fine. Senator Sterling, you have the floor.
Thank you. Senator Reed, I respect you a ton, but frankly, what your argument, it does not make any sense considering that our president right now presiding was in USA. Now I know there's that limit, but the committee already confirmed it. He has made up for that. So if you're saying he has a rough pass, that means Senator Walsh has a rough pass, and even some members of this EUSA, because some members that are even in leadership experience in our USA have been in USA, but have come here and made a difference and changed your pass. And we already discussed this in the Foreign Affairs Committee. So let's not waste any more time. And we all agree, let's pass him. I yield.
I request one more time.
You have the floor. And then I think someone else requested, so we'll go to him after.
Yeah, after me. But Senator Sterling, Senator Walsh did actually benefit our country. And Mr. Charleston, he really didn't benefit us. He left us for Knights USA, and then he ran for their Congress, and then he got destroyed. But I'm willing to hopefully put that in the past, and hopefully we can approve him, and hopefully he could represent our country and help us get recognized in the international community. And with that, I yield.
All right.
Let's proceed.
Does anyone second?
Second.
All right. We will now proceed to voting on N1138, the nomination of Matthew Charleston for United States Ambassador. And I will now call the roll. Senator Sterling.
Aye.
Senator Truber.
Abstain.
Senator Webby.
Aye.
Senator Walsh votes aye. Senator Woodland.
Abstain.
Senator Leo,
Abstain.
Senator Anubis,
Aye.
Senator Novak.
Abstain.
A lot of abstains. Senator Reed.
Aye.
With one. Wait, that's weird. Hold on a second. I've been making a big boo boo. Hold on, these formulas aren't counting David's vote, but it's still, I can still tell it passes. With 5 in favor and 4 abstains, the nomination passes. And we will now move on to item number 5, N1125, the nomination of David Wan for Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps.
I must let Dave want to
And
speak.
I was about to do that. Are there any seconds?
A second.
All right, we will now vote to allow Mr. Wan to speak. And I will now, well, let's just do this. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, Senator Wan, you now are recognized and you may speak and give a statement on your nomination. And someone let me know when he's finished because I got to fix the spreadsheet.
Someone
Sure,
narrate.
yeah.
Who's narrating from?
Leo, you can.
No, I'm not. I can't.
Can you read?
I can't.
There, I'll narrate. Go on. You must have a big statement.
I do.
It would be nice if you could do it in pieces.
Yeah, but I'm not that nice.
Or you could just talk.
Yeah, you could just talk too.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot
Or
quicker.
y'all could just hurry the hell up.
I mean, fine, here, I'll just give you what I got. There you go.
All right, so David says, so now that y'all have finally allowed me to speak, thank you for allowing me here. I have been waiting for this for a good while, and that I could finally officially do work with the Marine Corps. I have already started this work as I have begun setting up the Military Police Corps and have started development on Paris Island in order to get our new Marines trained in the best environment possible. I thank you for allowing me to speak on this, and I hope I can continue my work to better our Marines.
Does the nominee wish to make another statement or anything else?
I'm at the Connor.
I motion the question. David won.
Second.
Second.
All right. So who requests to ask a question first?
And Senator Nubis, I request the floor.
All right, Senator Nibis, you may ask a question or your questions.
Okay, General David won. I just have a few simple questions for you. If a soldier is out of line, how would you punish them?
Well, I mean, that depends. What are they
let's say a soldier were to TK, team kill.
I mean, at that point, I'd probably pretty much discharge them because I'm not going to allow that in any way.
Okay. If you had a group of corrupt generals who were plotting against the Marine Corps or EUSA, how would you handle them?
I mean, that would be the same thing, pretty much.
Okay. If the commandant gave you a command that you do not agree with, how would you respond? And would you follow the commandant's instruction, or would you do what you feel is right?
I'd follow his instruction.
Okay. When hosting a basic training or a regular training and a soldier is not up to par and not kept up with the rest of the group, would you leave him behind, or would you help him and help him in catching up to the other soldiers?
Well, we don't leave anybody behind, so of course I'd help him.
Okay. That's all I have to ask at the moment. I yield.
I request.
Senator Reed, you may ask.
Alrighty, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Wan, as you know, the state of our military is it's not the greatest, obviously, but it's getting much better. And how would you assist in making our military better, and how would you help put it at a better state?
Well, I mean, I've already started work on HMX1, getting that set up, and right now I have 2 pilots for that. But I've also started working on the military police to get them working.
Yeah, but that doesn't really doesn't help put our the status of our military. It doesn't really affect our military. It affects.
I mean, pretty much right now I'm just trying to get the basics set up so people actually have stuff that they can join. Because I mean, that's pretty much the reason they're not joining. They have nothing to do.
And how would you encourage others to join? Just the military as a whole.
Well, I mean, the way I'm trying to encourage that is I'm trying to make new divisions so that they can, because, I mean, people have been asking me why these things aren't open. And so my job has been to get those things opened up and get people for them. So because I haven't been able to get somebody for TechCom, I've been doing those for right now until I can find somebody who's adequate for the job.
All right, and one final question. How willingly would you be able to cooperate with the next Secretary of Defense when the President nominates him and the President himself?
See, the way I think on that is whoever's above me, I mean, they're going to get my respect. I mean, but if I don't agree on something, I'm going to try to find a way to try to fix the way we agree on the thing. Like change it a little.
Alrighty. That's it from me, and I yield.
Senator Leo, you are recognized.
Mr. Wan, do you yield for a question?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've had a troubled legal past, but you've gotten out everything. How can we ensure that while you are in your position, you won't go on a spree again of committing crimes?
I don't know how to answer that. I guess I'd say pretty much I'm not going to do it again. I don't really have a reason. I mean, the times that I actually did it, there were a reason for it.
Can you explain those reasons?
Well, one was Justin. I mean, he was a total kind of,
So if our current president turned out to be like President Hamilton, you would commit crimes again? You'd do the same thing?
No, I've kind of changed that way. I mean, at the time, I'm saying that was the reason why.
Okay, I yield. I motion proceed.
Second.
All right, we can't proceed, but unless someone really wants to ask a question on this nominee, they can. All right, we'll proceed to a vote on. Let me get the agenda back up. The nomination in 1125, the nomination of David Wan for Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps. And I will now call the roll. Senator Sterling.
Aye.
Senator Trooper.
Aye.
Senator Webby.
Aye.
Senator Walsh votes aye. Senator Woodland.
Abstain.
Senator Leo.
I vote aye.
Senator Anubis.
Abstain.
Senator Novak. Senator Novak, your vote.
I guess he must be AFK.
All right, we'll count him as abstain. Senator Reed.
Abstain.
All right. Well, damn. This nomination passes with a vote of 5 in favor and 4 abstaining. All right. The next item on the agenda is N1139, the nomination of Marcus Walsh, Mark Glaskov, for Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. So I would like
Motion
to
on
motion
Marcus.
to allow him to speak on the Senate floor.
Second.
All right, and we will now vote to allow the nominee to speak. Senator Sterling.
Aye.
Senator Trooper.
Aye.
Senator Webby.
Aye.
I vote in favor. Senator Woodland. Senator Woodland.
Abstain.
Senator Leo.
Yeah.
Senator Anubis. Senator Anubis.
Aye.
Senator Novak.
He must still be AFK.
All right, abstain. Senator Reed.
Aye.
All right. So, Mr. Walsh, Mr. Marcus Walsh, I'll say that to clarify, is now recognized. He will be speaking in the chat, and I will narrate what he says. So, Mr. Marcus Walsh, you have the floor. Okay, he said, "Good evening, Senators. We are actually staining our concrete in the hallway today, so I'm physically unable to be in my room and able to speak. For that, I apologize. Thank you for this opportunity, and I am honored to be nominated for a position on the bench of the highest court in our nation. I hope that through this session you will find me as a viable choice to be an Associate Justice of our Supreme Court. Throughout the history of our nation, many variables have changed. However, one variable has remained true. That variable is the need for a well-qualified and distinguished judicial system in which we may conduct order. Upon reading over the Constitution of our great land, I came across one revelation. I have immense love for this country, and more specifically, its law and structure. If appointed on the bench of our nation's Supreme Court, I vow to bring this love and dedication to my practice and doing so, ensuring that the supreme law of our land is continually being obeyed. My judicial qualifications and experience are outlined below. Former EUSA Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, former EUSA Chief Judge of the Federal Court, former Solicitor General of EUSA, former TUSA Chief Justice, former Free Nations Deputy Attorney General, former American Patrons Attorney General, and I believe he has obviously studied the Constitution and amendments. He was just asked a question about the bar, so if he wants to go ahead and answer that, and I'll read out his bar. He scored a 90% on the bar exam. So Mr. Marcus Walsh, do you have any other statements to make before you're asked questions? All right, the floor is open for any questions anyone may have.
I request.
Mr. Reed, you have the floor.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Walsh, congratulations on your nomination, first off. And as you notice, our judicial system and branch is quite damaged due to what recently happened a few days ago. How can you assure that you will try your best to not let something like what happened a few days ago happen again? Yeah, I guess this is a big answer. Is that all?
I might want to read this out.
Yeah.
To read, your question was, what is his response to the actions of what happened a few days ago, and how do you prevent that from happening? He said, and let me say, the events that occurred are a shame to our country's core values. With that being said, as an associate justice of the Supreme Court, I feel that it will be our responsibility as a whole, not specifically myself. I will conduct my practice in an unbiased manner, obviously. However, I will ensure that my peers are doing the same.
All right, Mr. Walsh, is that all? That's it for your answer? All right, I just wanted to ask that question. I yield.
Motion to proceed.
Second.
All right, we will now proceed to a vote on the nomination of Marcus Walsh to the position of Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. I will now call the roll. Senator Sterling.
Aye.
Senator Lego Trooper.
Aye.
Senator Webby.
Aye.
Senator Walsh votes aye. Senator Woodland.
Aye.
Senator Leo.
I vote E.
Senator Anubis.
Aye.
Senator Novak.
Still AFK.
Still okay. Abstain. And Senator Reed.
Aye.
All right. I didn't break that time. With the vote of 8 in favor, none opposed, and 1 abstain, the nomination passes.
Really quick, can I kick Sal from the chat? He's not senator anymore. I mean, he's not secretary anymore.
If you want to.
Okay.
So the last item on the agenda is SRES 1101, the committee's resolution proposed by Senator Reed. The floor is open for discussion.
I request.
Motion to.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. Fellow senators, I hope you took your time to read this resolution, as it may seem a little long and it may seem difficult to some, but basically what this resolution states is it defines our Senate committees that are established by the Rule 14 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, which are those committees are the Armed Services Committee, the Government Oversight and Judiciary Committee, Foreign Relations Committee, and Homeland Security and Intelligence Committee. Basically, my resolution that I wrote with Senator Anubis and Senator Walsh, it basically defines their jurisdiction further, and it basically it defines which nominees that are sent in by the President of the United States will appear in front of the respective committee that their nomination falls under, that is in their jurisdiction. So, for example, the Secretary of State, that would fall under the Government Oversight Committee and the Foreign Relations Committee. And if any senators have any questions before we move on to voting, please ask them so I can answer them as best as I can. And with that, I yield.
Does anyone request?
I must proceed.
All right, with that, we will proceed to a vote on SRES 1101, the committee's resolution proposed by Senator Reed. We will now call the roll. Senator Sterling.
Aye.
Senator Trooper.
Aye.
Senator Webby.
Aye.
Senator Walsh votes aye. Senator Woodland.
Aye.
Senator Leo.
Aye.
Senator Anubis.
Aye.
Senator Novak. I guess he's still gone. And Senator Reed.
Aye.
All right. That one broke. That's interesting. I'll get South later. But with a vote of 8 in favor, none opposed, and 1 abstain, item number 7 passes. And with that, we will move on to closing remarks, and the floor is open.
I request.
Senator Reed, you have the floor.
All right. Just real quick, I thank all the senators today for their opinions and whatnot. And it was a productive session, and I hope we can accomplish more in the future. And hopefully, with the House elections coming up, and if the House is under Democratic control, hopefully we can accomplish even more. And that's all. With that, I yield.
Aye. Question.
Aye.
Senator Leo has the floor as he's exiting the Senate very shortly, so he has the floor.
I'd like to thank you all for a great experience for my first legislative term. It was great. I made a lot of relationships, and passed 3 pieces of legislation. Well, technically 4.
Can you speak up a little bit, Leo?
Yeah, I passed 4 pieces of legislation. We won't speak about the 4th one because it wasn't passed by the House. But it was successful for 1 month. More successful than some in their whole careers. And I wish you the best of luck. I will be here as an overseer. And I'll be going to active duty in the Marines. And I'll be here. So I yield.
Aye.
Thank you
Question.
all.
All right, Senator Sterling, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now, before I prolong my closing remarks, I'd like to ask Senator Reed a question. Does he pose for a question?
No, you can ask.
Please repeat. I couldn't hear you, Senator.
You can ask.
Okay, thank you, Senator. How many House Democrats have actually proposed legislation?
That I don't. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I would have to look at the statistics.
It's 2, actually. 2. I think it's
How about
2.
the House Republicans?
Let me. Mr. President, you interrupt. It's my floor. I have the floor. Please respect the rules. Thank you. Now,
Well, if you want to play that game, you are no longer recognized. Does anyone else request the floor for a question?
point of order, Mr. President. I have the floor.
Wow.
Who requests the floor?
Me.
Senator Woodland, you have the floor.
Thank
Point
you,
of
Mr.
order. You can't force yield senators, Mr. President. Therefore, I have the floor.
You are
think
not
you just
recognized. I chose to recognize you. I can choose to take it away. Senator Woodland, you're recognized.
Hold on. Sorry. Okay.
He's filibustering.
Kiss my ass with my butt
Oh my god.
and have a good night.
I yield.
Well,
Does anyone else request the floor?
unless
I
you
request,
proceed.
Mr. President.
Does anyone second the senator's vote to proceed.
Mr. President, if you want to act immature, you can do so, Mr. President. But actually do your job, for God's sake. Mr. President, please do your job.
I would like to say
You
that
broke
you were
the
not
rules. I
no,
requested the floor and you didn't respond.
you were not recognized.
I had the floor and you didn't point of order. I had the floor.
I motion to allow Senator Sterling to speak.
You can't do that.
Senator Sterling will be allowed to speak, but Senator Sterling should realize that as I granted him the floor and gave him the ability to speak, I can take that ability away. I will give him the floor, but this is not a questioning period. This is where you can give a closing remark. You will not be asking other senators questions. You will just be speaking on your own. So, Senator Sterling, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now, well, what I was saying earlier is that only 2 House Democrats have actually introduced legislation out of their majority. That is disgusting. Next election, we need to actually introduce, we need to elect representatives that will actually introduce legislation. Now, I'm fully aware of the House GOP's legislation record this term. It's disgusting also. That is why the GOP has put forth old candidates that actually introduced legislation in the past. So that's why I encourage people to actually to vote for GOP or vote Democrats that have actually introduced legislation. Now, back to what I was going to say. Senator McKay has served as the president of the Senate and the majority whip. He's also been an active senator, and he was an active president of the Senate. That is why I like to thank him for his service to the United States Senate. Secondly, I would like to congratulate Ambassador Charleston. He'll continue to make a positive difference within the USA, like when he made a positive difference when he was within the House. He was a great majority leader and will be a fantastic ambassador. Finally, thank you, my fellow senators. And before I yield, I'd like to mention that you cannot actually unrequest.
Oh my God!
I can, and
I yield.
you. All right.
I
So-
request the floor.
No,
request to proceed.
I would actually like to. I would actually, real quickly, I would like to give the chair to Senator Leo and make a couple of statements.
Do you request the floor?
I do request the floor.
You have the floor. Sir.
All right. First, I would like to talk about the upcoming House election. I want to be brutally honest. I am not in any way a fan of Colton or House Democrats. You know, I don't think they're all that in a bag of potato chips. They're not perfect, and maybe they haven't presented many pieces of legislation. But the fact of the matter is they have shown up to work. They have passed the Senate's bills, a lot of those bills, and helped us get those things into law. They helped us get the SAFE Act through. They helped us get some of Senator Leo's bills through about securing the airspace. Whether you like it or not, they have shown up to work, and they have done their duties. Now, what the House Republicans have given us, they have given us a candidate that is most likely an alternate account, and they've also given us a candidate that is a criminal. Someone that has been convicted of a crime and has served a sentence is running for the House of Representatives. And you know what they want to do? They want to propose another department. They want to propose, and listen, I respect veterans, but they want to propose the Department of Veterans Affairs. I think it's very reckless for people that are wanting to represent our country to be proposing even more government bureaucracy. When we have issues filling the government departments that we have now, we have struggling departments. We have a struggling MPD. We have a struggling Department of Justice. And I think it's honestly just reckless for anyone to propose a Department of Veterans Affairs. If anything, there should be a division open in the Department of Defense that oversees veterans and stuff like that, but we shouldn't make an entire new department. And overall, in closing, I would just like to say thank you to Senator Leo for your service. You've been when you started out as vice president and your nomination was put up, people were very reluctant about your nomination because you didn't have any experience. But after you served as vice president and after you served as a senator, you showed us that that you were capable of the job, and you've proposed lots of bills that have become law, and you've become, one of the best legislators in this country as a result of that, and I want to thank you for that. So, in closing, I want to say thank you to everyone for attending today's session. Thank you to the nominees for taking the time. So, I yield. And
I request.
and take
I
the floor.
request.
Senator
I-
Kane, you have the floor.
Okay.
Thank you. I wish to apologize for missing the session, and I would just like to say, Senator Sterling, you're a nasty woman, and you need to get yourself out. Also, I would like to thank, even though I have missed this evening, I would like to thank Senator McKay for his service to this country, and it is sad to see him depart from this group, and I wish him the best of luck in his future. With that, Senator Agila, I hope that next time you can be a bit more civil and not yell at Terence Walsh. Terence is a wonderful human being, and I feel like you should take some pointers on how to be more polite. With that, I yield.
All right, I request. Hold on.
I motion to
All right.
join.
I request.
I will. Okay, Senator Woodland, you've already requested. I'm only going
I
to
requested
allow one
first.
closing statement per person. Senator Webby has been waiting patiently, so he has the floor.
Thanks. I'd just like to start off by saying, not only has Leo done an amazing job, but all of you have done amazing jobs in the Senate, and I'm extremely proud to be serving alongside fellow senators who care so much about this nation, and to have as productive as a Senate in 1 month than I've ever seen in my history in this group. I'd like to congratulate the recent senators that have been nominated and accepted into the Senate and are welcomed into this body. It is something that I am extremely proud that amazing senators amazing people in general have been put up by the president and have proven to serve effectively and are ready to serve effectively and continue in finishing out the rest of next month and this term. I'd also like to congratulate an amazing man, Mr. Leo. I've worked with him since joining this group in almost a year ago, and working with him as chief of MPD and being able to serve alongside him and help him progress in this country and helping me progress in this country is something that he's done amazing at, and the work he's done and serving not only the people of this nation but his constituents as well, and just being an amazing role model for the people we should have in this group, and who are serving and have served and put their Roblox characters' lives on the line to protect Washington D.C. or the Capitol building. And he's a man I respect a lot. He's a man that I served side by side with as MPD chief and assistant chief, and my vice president. And he's an amazing man, and I'm glad that he is one of my friends and a friend of this nation, and someone who we can rely on in times of need as an overseer. So with that, I yield my time and just again congratulate all of you for the work you've done.
I motion to proceed.
Is that a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
All right. At 9:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Senate is hereby adjourned.